What's up, guys? Today I want to do a review of the Eachine EV100 goggles. I received mine about 4 weeks ago. I signed up for the pre-order bonus and I received mine for $100. For the most part, I've been testing mine out before I wanted to do a review. And I know a lot of people beat me to a review, and there's two handfuls of reviews out there that I'm sure we've all seen. So I'm gonna skip all of the technical features and things of that nature. And I want to basically focus on how I feel about these goggles and what I think about Eachine as a company moving forward with binocular style goggles. Like I said, I received mine about 4 weeks ago. I've been flying with them during those 4 weeks, and I really wanted to get a good feel for how I felt about them before I was going to express, how if people should buy these or not. So I would say had about 200 minutes worth of flight time with these binocular style goggles. So, when I first started getting into FPV, well, the first pair of FPV goggles I've ever laid eyes on in person were Fat Shark goggles. The second pair was a pair of box style goggles, and when one day I was at the field with a flying buddy, and he had a flying wing and he threw it up in the air, and he wanted me to test his the range on his box style goggles while he flew his flying wing. So he was flying his flying wing and he was going certain distances, certain locations, directions, and he wanted to know if there was any interference and when it was interference, when it was clear, just so that he knew, where he could fly, where he would find interference, and so on and so forth. So as I was looking through his box style goggles and watching his airplane fly 300, 400 feet in the air, I thought, wow, this is pretty cool. I think I'm going to be interested in doing some FPV flying. And maybe a year before that, a couple of years ago, there was a guy that we fly with. He had a racing drone and a pair of Fat Shark goggles, and I really didn't know much about it at that particular point in time. And so by the time I decided I was ready for FPV, what I ended up doing was shopping around. Someone told me, well, don't spend a whole lot of money buying your FPV goggles. If you're not good at flying FPV or you just don't like it, you may regret purchasing a pair of expensive goggles and then them being basically a paperweight. So I took that advice and I found an affordable pair of box style goggles, and that was the Eachine VRD2 Pro. The original one came out, but by the time I was in the market, the Pro version came out, and has a patch antenna, a circular antenna, and a built-in DVR. And I believe at that time that this was a good product to purchase as a beginner into the world of FPV. and I'm still happy with this decision. These goggles have served me well. So, with that being said, I basically thought, well, I think, I may be interested in binocular style small form goggles. And I did a lot of, I watched a lot of reviews on the different various goggles that are available out there. And, everyone seems to have Fat Shark goggles, but then there's other people that chose other goggles. I don't think it's always a money issue for people. Pro drone racer Ferrari did a review with the Amway Commanders, and he has Fat Shark goggles, but he prefers the Commanders. And I trust his opinion. And with that being said, sometimes people like different things, Not everyone wants to conform just for the sake of conforming and getting, that one main brand all the time. And maybe some people have a rebellious streak and will decide, well, I'm not going to get that. Everyone else has that, and I feel that way about Spectrum radios. They're everywhere and everyone thinks they're great, but it's just a radio. And if I want a different radio, I have that right to get a different radio. So, with that being said, I picked up and purchased the Eachine EV100 goggles. Now, the first thing I'd like to say is I think these are really good. I've been nothing but impressed with these goggles. I think they've served me well. 200 minutes worth of flight time so far, and I really have nothing negative to really say about it. Some people are talking about the field of view and how it's maybe a little too small. I don't know. I disagree. I think it works well for me, at least. Coming from a box style goggle, this screen is huge. And guess what? If I was to go into binocular style goggles, no matter what the brand, if size was everything, coming from this, no matter what brand I bought, every binocular style goggle would be way too small for me. But that's not the case. And maybe it has something to do with being able to adjust the focus on these and pull the image closer or further away. When I got these, I was able to pull the screen right here almost directly in the middle. So it's not too far away, not too close. If it was too far away, I'd have this huge screen in front of me and I wouldn't be able to focus on the entire image. So basically, I just pull this back, and now my line of sight is directly where it needs to be. And with these, I was able to do the same thing, but in reverse. So instead of pushing the screen back, I was able to push the screen forward, and my line of sight was, still relevant. I was able to adjust the focus so that the screen was here, and I was able to slide the screens forward and get a nice line of view and still be able to use these. and be able to use these without any problems. You know, so by the time I got them, it hasn't been very warm, so I haven't needed to check the fan and how that works. But you know, whether it works or not, I mean, I don't know. I turned it on and I could hear the fan going. It's really quiet, but you know, maybe I'll be able to see if they work at another time. But so far, I haven't needed to use them. All I've been doing is really just flying with these, and they've been pretty good. I mean, are these the best possible binocular goggles that I could get? I don't think so. Are these the best possible goggles I could have gotten for box style goggles? Probably not. But do I have to have the best? Or do I have to have something that's going to work for me and be functional? These work for me, and these work for me. These have been very good. So there's already rumors, or not rumors, Eachine has already announced the follow-up to these, the EV200s, and the specifications for those look really good. I think a lot of people who may have had issues with these, those are out the window. At this point, the new EV200s will answer everyone's complaints, or or at least try to. But once the EV200s release, these should still be available, just like other box goggles that Eachine is making are still available after, a new updated version has been released. So if these are $150, $160 now and going on sale periodically from time to time at $100, once the EV200s arrive, these might be $60 or $70. And at that price, that is a steal for something very functional, something that works. Are these the best? Probably not. Do they work? Yes, they do. And for the price, there's really not much you could complain about, I don't think. So I'm going to continue to enjoy my EV100s, and maybe I'll see you again doing another review on the EV200s. We'll see. We'll cross that bridge when we get to it. All right, take care.